Hello, everybody. I am going to go find us and share it over on our creative group. Here we go. I love when it just pops up. It doesn't always happen that way, but when it just pops up, it makes me really happy. Let's see. I'm gonna share and there we go. Hi, so I see Debbie Bacon. Debbie, I sent you a package, so you should be getting that. And Linda Schaefer, and hi everybody. Happy trails, my camping mug. Christina Kilburn bought me this. Girl in my group, girl in my team. So, what a crazy weekend it was. Lots of thank yous in order. So first of all, I'll tell you that so far on the breast cancer fundraiser, we have raised $7,500 for breast cancer. Absolutely outstanding, amazing. I'm so grateful. Yeah. Last year I got in touch with the lady who does the strides thing, and she looked up our total and she said we were at 8,200. So in the land of COVID, where we couldn't have a live event, the fact that we even came close to last year's total so far is crazy. My daughter Alexis has been working on her own little fundraiser to benefit our team, and a local owner of a restaurant and pub has offered to do a meat bingo to benefit the charity. So we're not done yet with Stamp Out Breast Cancer this year. We got a late start, so we're just gonna fundraise until we can't do it anymore, and try to have some fun in the process. So for those of you that actually made a donation already, there were a project PDF tutorial came out with 22 projects, including the little Stampin' Up cup template that I did a couple of weeks ago. I drew it myself in Photoshop, so it's an original, and it comes with part of those 22 projects. Tons of blessings came out of that fundraiser. It's the funniest thing. We have people that are so talented that have never taken a picture of their artwork or never had to write up directions, and they all stepped up and stepped out of their comfort zone. 2 of them have already done their own Facebook Lives, and more have started to schedule online classes that they send out in the mail like I do, and I'm so happy. And it's not just my team. There were people, this was all over the world. Donna Gray from Australia participated, and she did a project sheet for us. Thank you, Donna. So many people came together for that fundraiser. So that is the biggest news ever and my favorite thing to talk about, because honestly, isn't it cool that we can still fight cancer during such a crazy time in our history as a people, as the globe turns? So, some more cool news. I placed number 53 out of, I don't know how many demonstrators. At one point it was 60,000, at one point it was 50,000. I don't know how many, but 53 in the world this weekend. So, I have to say thank you for everything all year long, because numbers like that don't happen on your own. Every person on my team, every customer, my family, there are so many variables that go into being able to serve others with this cool craft that we have. And it doesn't happen on its own. It happens as a result of all of you. I can't say thank you enough for supporting this crazy notion that I could stay home and make crafting my full-time job. And that's what I've done, and it's cool. And it's a lot of work. It's not easy, but it is a lot of fun, and it is very rewarding, and I get to see all of you. So, I think that's it for announcements. I'm trying to think. I'm working on, I'll show you what I'm working on. Oh, maybe. I already lost it on the table. It's gone. I'm working on a team meeting. It fell over. And these are taking forever to prep. I prepped 24 of the first project, and I'm out. I'm not cutting anymore. They're gonna have to cut their own, but they're awfully pretty. They have the poinsettia on them, and I have some tips and tricks when using these dies that nest inside of each other. So if you give me 1 second, I'm gonna pull the camera down and we will get moving. Let me just see. I'm not seeing your comments. Whoop. Oh, hi. Oh, hi, Lori. We can talk about that offline. Depends on the date, because this weekend, traditionally, this past weekend, is our onstage, and I would typically be traveling across the country. So we'll see how things go between now and the end of next year. All right, so let me flip this over and we can take a look. Okay. Oh, I forgot to put my clip down. It's going to take me one more extra second. Here we go. And apparently there is somebody backing their truck up outside, because you can hear it, the beep, beep, beep. There's no alarms going off or anything. Okay, you can see my table's already really messy, but I have been having some fun with these poinsettias, and I bought some little wreaths. So to give you an idea of how big this wreath is, we can put the ink pad beside it, and you can see they're kind of small. But I'm going to put that off to the side for a second. And glitter. We joke, it's the herpes of the crafting world. Once you get it, you can't get rid of it. All right, I'm going to bring in our die cutter machine, and I want to show you some tricks. Okay. I am so organized today. I'm unorganized. Does that make any sense at all? So what I did earlier, and what I was trying to explain this week when I was prepping these, is that we found this cool new tip. I took press and seal, which is just the stuff you can buy at the supermarket. Here you go, Glad press and seal, okay? And I used it to seal my two dies together. So this is actually two different pieces that are nested inside each other, but the press and seal is kind of holding it together. And then I just cut around the perimeter. Now, why is that important? Well, if you've ever been die cutting and you go to like stick your die cuts down on something to cut something out, these buggers would be moving all over. So you either need a magnetic cutting pad, or you can press and seal them together, and then it's just like using any other die. So the things that you would normally have to, kind of stress out about to make sure that you hit, it makes it so much easier. So here we go. I'm going to take this. I've got my die cut machine ready to go, and we're going to roll these through the die cutter. Oh, and it looks like I did have a little movement there, so we'll fix that before we go through the machine. And I cut one of my leaves off. All right, and then I'm going to move this so you can see it coming out. Okay. So you'll notice that I was able to get 6 leaves, which is 2 complete flowers, out of half a sheet of cardstock. So this is just like the same size as a card base. I just took an 8.5 by 11 and I cut it down the middle at 5.5. So I'm going to push this off to the side for a second. Now you'll notice that these aren't freely flying out, but because there's 2 dies that are press and seal together, I can push down on the inside leaf And then this is just going to kind of pull right out for me. And then you get 3 leaves, which is perfect for your poinsettia plant. Okay. Booyah. I had my nails painted today. I think I got close to the red. I was thinking this would be really cool with the red foil paper, or maybe even the felt. So earlier today I was putting these together and I was using, I sponged them. I pulled in a sponge, and I use a binder clip when I sponge, and you can tell I made kind of a mess. It's all over my ink pad. Whatever, I'll clean it up after. But I can choose to put ink on these, but as I put one together, I was kind of comparing the one with ink. That's the one that I finished with ink, and this is the one without ink. So I didn't really do much crimping or adjusting. I just stuck these together, and I didn't use dimensionals. On this one, I sponged it and crimped it a bit. So I'm thinking that we don't need the ink, but I would like to crimp it up a little bit. So we're going to take a bone folder and give each of the petals, I'm going to hold on to the base right here, because if I don't, it could be she loves me not bit where I pull the leaves off one at a time. So I'm going to hold the base and pull and curl like this. And I'll do that on all 3 pieces of my poinsettia. How do you say it? Do you say it poinsettia? Do you like, it's always been poinsettia to me. And, you know, if you're in and around, you can see like on real poinsettia plants, they actually mac them out with glitter. Hey, Brenda. Hi, Sharon. Thank you. Thanks for stopping by, everybody. I appreciate you guys. Okay, so I have this one. Hi, Bonnie. And I'm going to start to bend these leaves right down the embossing. So I curled them first, and now I'm giving them a little bit of happiness. I set poinsettias. Oh, say poinsettias. Yeah, that's me, poinsettia. And they are pointy, so Sharon, I would say you're right. Just ask anybody who's not from New England. I talk funny. That's all right, though. It's part of the charm. Okay, so I'm going to squeeze on these little veins, and these are for all 3 flowers, and they do take a few minutes to kind of get happy and put together. Now, with this one, I started to stick this one together with dimensionals, and you could see the white popping out underneath of my dimensionals. So I pulled in my mini dimensionals for this one. And you get so many. They're trees in Israel. Cool. I didn't know that. So I'm going to put a mini back there, because you can never have too much dimension. And not to mention, I've decided that these are going to go on 3D projects. So, hey, Connie, good to see you. So I'm just going to pop that down and peel these off. Almost midweek. I might get to see my mom tonight. I'm very excited about that. My daughter is going to be 16 in a week from Sunday, so we're potentially going to go celebrate that. Okay, so there's these. And then these things. Oh my goodness, beaded pearls. The last time I checked, they were on low inventory, so if you want them, you better grab a pack. 153534, in case you're looking for that. And glue dots are my friend. It's a little chilly out here in the studio, so my glue dots feel a little bit hard. Hopefully, they'll still be sticky. All adhesive is temperature sensitive, so if you have your stamping space, say in the basement, and you never turn the heat on, you may want to keep your adhesive in a different place in the house, because if it gets hot and then cold and then hot and then cold, like you go down there and you work for a couple hours and you have the heat on while you're down there, then eventually they won't be sticky anymore at all. So I have my studio in my garage, and we keep the heat on just 2 during the winter so that I don't end up having problems with my adhesive, which is also stored out here. Cool stuff, huh? All right, so this one has ink sponged on it before I put it together, and this one doesn't. And you know, after putting a bunch of them together, I think I like the one without ink better, even though I usually would like the dark and light contrast. It's so funny how that, how different, like you think you're gonna like things one way and then it turns out that you like it the other way instead. So I also pre-cut some of these, and they're just, you know, the leaves from that set. And we can pull in some old olive. I forget who was asking me for Thanksgiving projects. It may have been, it's one of the Debbies. It's either Debbie Bacon or Debbie Cox. I forget. But if you bought the Love of Leaves bundle, it comes with a stitched die leaf that does the same exact thing as these do. Like they have these dies that sit in the middle, and you can either cut them out solid, like these are solid, or you can cut them out with that extra piece inside that does the magic, right? So just taking a look at these. Oh my gosh, I didn't even stamp it straight and it looks fine. If I was feeling an OCD, I might trim off some of the edge or even add some sponging, but I like it. It's good. Done is better than perfect. And honestly, we're crafters. So we'll look at it and we'll beat ourselves up, and then we'll put it on a project and it's gonna look beautiful anyway. Oh, isn't that gorgeous? So you could take them and put them on one of our tins and it would be ready to go. And by the way, these fit a gift card perfectly, or you could put cookies inside. You know, it's so funny that our local Market Basket sells those old 3 cookie packs. I think I have a package around here somewhere. I buy them just kind of, not to eat, but I buy them so I have showpieces to show in the house. Nobody eats the candy in Mom's room because they know that it's all old. Because I don't eat candy. But this would be perfect for that. And then to add maybe just a little bit of ribbon like we did behind this, and I just loops, you know, easy enough to assemble. So let's go back to the press and seal for a minute. Now that you have seen one of those poinsettias from scratch. Oh, and by the way, don't discriminate on the color. We can make the white ones look just as dimensional and gorgeous. And imagine like spritzing a little bit of glitter on these just to pop them up. So you can make them in multiple colors. I have a whole bunch all down the table. I'm sure you can imagine. But what I want to do is I want to bring in the die cuts from that Love of Leaves. If you were looking to do some Thanksgiving projects, the other holiday. Happy Holla Christmas with gratitude. All right, so you can tell I've already used the heck out of these. But these are also intended to be stitched together. So it's, when I did the Love of Leaves class, when I was lining these up on my cutting pads, legit, I was doing this every single time and praying that my dies wouldn't move or get damaged in the process. If I pull a little press and seal off the roll, so So the bottom of this is sticky. So there's my sticky part down. Okay, so that if I were to stick this on, you can see it's the bottom part that's sticky. So we'll stick them together, well, in theory. Don't mind the people yelling outside. I live across the street from a school. That's not distracting or anything. I wonder what they're saying. We could go watch. I'm really not the nosy neighbor type, though. I could care less what's going on out there. It's the studio that I'm interested in. I'm going to cut around this. And then the rest of this press and seal I can use on the other pieces. So if I wanted to, I could load up all of these dies. Same thing. Oh, this is so pretty. Let's see. What other shape? We could take one of these. So these do the same thing. They're so pretty. I have another technique I can show you with these too. We do, I call it the Twofer stitched stamping technique. We did this when we did the Love of Leaves class. Did you know this particular stamp set has a leaf from every market that Stampin' Up sells in? Isn't that cool? So here we go. That's my family just coming in. My daughter's coming in from school. Stay off the internet, says the internet Nazi. Yes, I am. Hopefully they're listening. She can say, I just didn't hear you, Mom. Well, so we moved to 3 o'clock when she ended up remote. And then now that she's back in school, she's scheduled to come in while I'm live. So it is what it is. We waited until after school before so that she could be on Zoom and whatever she needed to be on, Google Classroom or whatever, and I wouldn't be messing with her internet while she was in school. We used to be a 9 o'clock in the morning kind of show. But when we're back to normal, I might switch back to the morning because I do like mornings. So it is a little fussy getting it on there, but I lost count of how many I've cut. I know I cut at least 24 for that class that I'm doing for my downline, and then I cut probably another 12 or 14. So I haven't had to change the press and seal at all. Once they're together, you can really cut from multiples. So if you're cutting one, you know, you may not want to deal with all of this because it is a little fussy, but it's worth it. Okay. So you get the idea with these. I'm not going to do them all for the sake of time. You're welcome. But I would like to show you another little tip. Hang on one sec. To do this, I need to cut a piece of paper, and my paper cutter is like all the way over here. So this particular die is magical. This one puts stitches in your white paper. So I want to show you that one first, and then we'll cut out a leaf. And then maybe I'll show you the twofer. Okay. So, white paper. We have some poinsettias that we were cutting out, but we're just going to put that down anyway. And we can cut a leaf. Okay, so when you're running your die cut machine, make sure that everything is lined up straight. Don't be like me. That's so funny. Can they be stored on the wrap so you don't have to do it again? I would say you could, but if you wanted to just have, so here's the thing. Stampin' Up! Chose to have it to be 2 pieces for a reason. Because this is also a leaf by itself. So you can cut without the stitching and it's just as beautiful. And by the way, the stitching is on the outside and on the inside. So when you cut these out, you can use the negative and the positive if you plan it out right. But here we go. I'm going to pull this one leaf. That's a good question, Debbie. So like if I was going to do a bunch of stitched ones, yeah, I could store it just like that. I'd throw it right in the bin and that would be that. But if I want to have an outline only, I would get rid of the middle and I'd have to do that again. Isn't that pretty though, the stitching? Oh. Okay. So this one, this was the one I was telling you about. It looks like a skyline there, doesn't it? Looks like New York City a little bit. Whoops. All Butterfingers. Okay, so here we go. I'm going to slide this back through. And then I'm going to lay this down. And I'm going to line this up at the top. So now my stitching is going to be like a background. Hopefully I can get it straight because I'm like hovering around my camera mount. So I'm giving you guys all a hug. I'm hugging the camera. Warm hugs. That's so funny. All right, so we'll roll that bugger through. And you just have to see how pretty this is. Ready? See what it does at the top? Stunning. All right, so what would you use that on? I didn't even pull out the Love of Leaves stamp set. Hang on. I'm going to grab the Love of Leaves stamp set. Luckily, all of my stamp sets are alphabetical. But it doesn't matter. I can't find it. Anyway, sorry, 1 second. Talk amongst yourselves. Shoot. Only when you're live. La da da da. Oh, found it. It was right where it goes. I just get excited when I'm live. Okay. Hooray for ABC order. Yeah, that's right. Okie doke. It was right where it goes too. I was just excited, so I couldn't I couldn't find it because it was right in front of me. What color do you think we should put with this vanilla? How about a purple? I don't know. Oh, it's out. All right. Merry Merlot it is. So we're gonna bring in some Merry Merlot. And ooh, somebody's got a nice sounding engine. It sounds like, my husband would say, that sounds like Flowmaster exhaust. So I'm in the garage, so they're like legit right on the other side of the garage door. Okay, so here we go. And you know, I think I need a bigger block. We're getting there. Check this out. Since we're doing this, I'm gonna cut another piece of white. And these are both 3 3/4 by 5. So I'm going to put one here, and I have one here. And then I have that really cool leaf right here. Oh, yay. Now we get to have some fun. So now that you know all the tricks, you can go in and do your own die cutting. But that is such a great tip with the press and seal, and you can store it that way, but like after a while you'll want new press and seal, I'm sure. Okay, so I just love this sentiment. Hope changes everything. So what I'm going to do next is I'm going to bring that leaf back in that we die cut with the stitch, and I'm going to ink up our leaf in Merry Merlot. And I should probably grab a mat, but it's all good. I just want to make sure that I'm good and inked up. And then I'm going to hover and stamp directly on the stitched shape. So I have this. Okay, here comes the twofer. So I'm going to pull this off, and it does stick because it's wet and, you know, whatever. But the stitching stays on from the die cut. Ready? I really should have used a mat because you can see I missed a little bit. Oh, yeah, this would work way better if I had a mat. Hang on, I'm getting one. Here we go. I'm going again. And I'm not using the back, so it's okay. I just want you guys to get the actual technique down. And I think this ink pad could have a little more ink on it, but we're live. So because I know that it needs, I'm gonna make sure that the ink touched and pull. That looks better on that. And then I'm gonna stamp one off. So the stitching from the die cut, the ink didn't touch where it's stitched. So now we get the stitched effect, boom, like that. Yay! That was better. See, stamping mats make all the difference. Hey, Val. What set does the stitched top come from? It comes from the Love of Leaves bundle. And like I said, a leaf is represented in every, so you might recognize if you live in the United States, the oak leaf. But there's a leaf that's, in fact, I have all that information. I did a little bit of research and I can post that to the creative group. What leaf is from what market and what tree it comes from. So if you're not a part of the creative group, when we get off the live, go ahead and send me a message through my business page and I will be happy to send you a link. So, I don't know if you're OCD like me, but you see how I rocked the stamp a little bit? I was just a little heavy-handed, and this photopolymer edge hit the edge of my stamp. So I'm going to make a quick bow. I'm just tying my shoes midair, loop, swoop, and pull. You can bunny ears if that's your method, it's fine. Oh, it's still not going to be right unless I extend that leaf. Well, so there's another way you can fix it. Stampin' Up! Doesn't sell these, but I have them. They're sand erasers. They're made by Mono. And you can, you don't want to like dig in. You want to go nice and light over the area and kind of work it down. But what you're doing is you're sanding the top layer of paper off. So you got to be careful that you don't go too crazy because you'll, you know, silt your paper and then you'll have to start over. But that is why they make more paper. If you do mess up, you can go again. It's pretty forgiving. Okay. So I still like the bow though. Oh, and it does need a little more. It's almost gone. Thank you for the eyeballs, guys. Get so excited when you're live, you know? Okay, so we got this. My bow's a little frumpy. I have a bow maker, and you can, if you don't like to tie bows, there's a video you can go find on YouTube. Just YouTube the title Fork Bow, and it will teach you to tie a bow with anything that has 2 tines. But I have a wooden thing that I use. I had glue dots right here, and now they are missing. Oh, there they are. As soon as you stand up. Okay, so we got this. So that's going to be that one, and I can finish this off when we're done. Isn't it pretty though? Just simple. I think because of the way the ribbon is acting, this is the copper trim. I think I'll just cut it short. I was planning to leave it longer, but it's pretty though. That's a gorgeous color, Mary Merlot. All right, so what about this leaf? How about we put it right there? And maybe for this one, we can just, oh, you know what? This piece, I cut off a little too much, so I could just tie this off, in theory, if it's not too short. Get my fingers around it. Whoop, whoop. Oh, yay. Okay, so I tied one on. There you go. Live. I really should do that in private, huh? It's too funny. Okay, and then we will just adhere that. And what I have in front of me is glue dots, so we're gonna go for it. Just push down on the thing that you want to adhere, and then lift. I don't touch with my fingers because it makes the glue dots less sticky. And the stitching with the stitching, isn't that gorgeous? So I'm gonna come back and take a look at the comments. So hang on one sec. I wanna see if I can find your comments. Let's see, Patricia Settle, hi Bonnie, thank you. Hi Val, thank you. Stored, I saw that question. Hello from Washington. Samantha, thank you for being here. Brenda, I know you probably can't hear me answering your question if you can't hear the feed, but when you go look at a Facebook Live, there is sometimes a volume button on the video itself. It's usually on the bottom right-hand side that you have to kind of use the slider and slide up. So next time, if you didn't catch it, I'm sorry. Hi Donna, hi Kay, Bonnie Blanchard, thank you for being here. Yeah, and definitely retry. When in doubt, it's only paper. So much love to all of you. Thank you for making me number 53. Because you don't do that by yourself. That takes a tribe. You guys are rock stars. And yeah, so here's one of the projects from this week. And we have, and I'll finish these up and get them posted. Here's one of them, and I'll just mount that and finish it off. It's so pretty. I want to spray glitter all over it though. Leaves don't have glitter on them. Well, they do at the craft store. And then you can't see my whoops. And I love the stitched, that is called the Twofer stitched stamping technique, and that was named by my downline, Mary. Mary reads all of my directions for my classes, and she corrects them for English just to make sure that I'm understandable when I'm writing my directions. And I said, I have no idea what to call this other than cool. And she said, it's the Twofer. T-W-O-F-E-R, the Twofer stitched stamping technique. So you saw it here first because I made it up. And I hope you have a wonderful week. We'll see you guys next Tuesday. Unless I decide to pop in, I'm really eyeballing these wreaths, and I would love to potentially do this. What do you think? So can you see this being like great Christmas presents? So darn pretty. And now you have an easy way to use those dies that isn't going to make you crazy when you're doing multiples. So Anyway, I hope you have a great week, and we will see you next week.